There we go. Now we're streaming rather than recording.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
What are we doing, Jeffrey?
We're talking about the homemade loot crate.
The Amazon Loot Crate.
Yeah. Yes. And for those of you that aren't in the know, because we've talked about this, is to put things in your Amazon cart, forget about them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Unless it's a necessity, that's what the buy it now button is for.
Yeah, but if you just put it in your shopping cart.
Correct. Then you don't look at what's in there, but once it hits your cash threshold, you hit the button, and then you're surprised with what arrives.
Sometimes you got to not look at the Loot Crate, but you have to do that in order to know how much it's going to cost you.
Well, this is the thing, is it's usually the last thing that's going to trigger the Loot Crate. So,
okay.
Right, so if you put in 2 cans of Flex Seal, and that puts you at $100 or $200 or what?
You're making yourself a boat?
That stuff has done me no good. I tried to seal my own skylines with it.
That's right.
So once you hit that, you hit the button, you just, accept it, and then you let yourself be surprised with what arrives.
Right. No, I've been doing that for years. So you got me started on that.
Yeah.
So what did I get in the last Amazon? The last Amazon Loot Crate had like a Valheim shirt.
Wow.
Yeah. It says the bees are happy on it. I got a couple little train cars for my model trains. I got a book that I've been waiting on for like a year because it was out of print.
Oh,
yeah. And then they ran a new edition, and so I don't know. There was a couple other weird things in there. I got a new set of spatulas.
Dude, now that's a surprise. That is a pleasant surprise.
Well, my mother-in-law told me like a year ago, I was cooking something at her house or something like that, and she had these really cool silicone spatulas that you can leave them in the pan and they won't melt or nothing.
Oh!
Yeah, they're badass. Yeah. So she did finally burn one because she's got a gas like grill built inside her house. You know those fancy stoves that have the burners on either side, and there's a grill, and she left it on that actually did burn it.
Okay.
But I've had them now, and I use them for everything. It's like, yep, I'm gonna throw my old ones away. So yeah, that was my last Amazon Loot Crate. There's probably some other things in there too, but
I would get like desks and stuff because I always do like shop for like comparison side by side, so I'd throw like all of them into the cart.
Oh, this is a bad idea.
Oh no! I get like a new household sent to me.
You get like 4 couches.
I'm like this, no, that's the, and all those other things. I would just, if I saw the impulse to buy it, I would just hit buy.
Yeah, swipe right. Yeah. Okay.
If it's necessary, like if you need that kind of paper towel now, of course, right? But if it's something where it's like, all right, I don't need to get 5 different packages on this.
But why did you look it up in the first place unless you wanted it?
Well, because some of us still have to make that weight of, I don't have to own this.
Right.
Right? I don't need this right now. It's decorative, or it would just be kind of like fun.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing is, because like if you don't have that spatula, you're still going to cook.
Right. I still have plenty of spatulas. Yeah. So it was just like, oh, she told me about them, so I threw them in a cart and I said, I'll look at them later. You know.
Yeah.
And then
if you're knowing you're going to get your surprise bundle, so you're planning on spending for it anyway, just hit the buy now.
You're taking all the joy out of this, man. That's the thing. It's just like every 6 months or so, fucking treat yourself with a bunch of little knickknacks. So. And then it's like, oh yeah, I remember when I was looking at this. Yeah, that was a really fucking good idea.
Have you gotten stuff that you didn't really want?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay, I won't offer logic at this approach anymore.
Spent a lot of money on a couple board games that we'll probably never play.
Fair enough.
Dude, I got Tupperware like 3 months after I needed something to store.
I got what was it? I got a spare lawnmower battery for one that I
Oops. But you can always just drive back to UPS and
Oh yeah. Well, you just wait till one of my neighbors buys the exact type of lawnmower that requires this battery.
Yeah.
And just give it to him.
have you returned anything?
I have never returned anything.
Never?
Never.
Oh my
I don't think I've
God.
ever even returned anything to like Target in my life. It's just like,
Wow.
yeah.
Get out.
Or I'll give it away to somebody.
I have
It's something
returned
like that.
plenty of stuff.
That's see my mom does that. She's, I don't like this. I'm going to take it back next week. I think it's just an excuse to get out of the house, but she's always been that way. It's like,
She's always wanted to get out of the house.
no, I think she just likes the idea of getting money back from Target and then going and using it to store credit on something else. So,
Yep, my mom used to return stuff all the time. That was her thing too. I'll never do it. I can tell you the last thing I returned. I can tell you the specific item, and I can tell you where I did it.
what was it?
It was a Super Soaker 100.
Oh, this is a long time ago.
That Kmart that hasn't
That's
been
not
a
a Kmart. It hasn't been a Kmart for 10 years.
Correct.
Yeah, it's been a meth lab.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Have you complained to Amazon about a product you got that was like broken or damaged?
Knock on wood, I don't think I've ever gotten anything that was thoroughly jacked up from Amazon. To be fair, I don't order that much stuff.
Really?
No, not really, man. My house is pretty well rigged out. So, I did order a mop the other day because I didn't feel like driving over to Target and buying one. I was like, it'll come in 2 days. I can mop then.
Yeah.
You got to tell people, hey, don't clean that up. I'm getting a mop. Yeah.
I did. So,
Well, all right. So I didn't return something. I wrote a nasty review. So the last pink glow-in-the-dark collar that she got was a pile of crap. It would turn off by itself and then just start blinking. And then the problem was I couldn't turn it off. You had to let the battery die and then charge it again, right? Because if you charged it while it was stuck in the on position, it would just charge all the way again. Yeah. So I wrote a nasty review. They reached out to me and said,
Can we do to fix that review?
I said, why don't you go ahead and return that? Like, I don't want another one of your collars. That's why I wrote a one-star review. They just refunded it.
Huh, okay. And you took off the review?
No.
no.
Because it's still true.
Yeah.
It's still true.
Yeah. They didn't correct the issue. So,
Yeah, but sometimes they're trying to buy you to remove that review.
well, okay.
Only you have the power.
They need to ask you to do that rather than just give you your money back. So,
Right.
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 It's like, well, we'll give you your money back if you take that review down. Then I'd be like, how much was the collar?
Oh,
$3.99.
$13.
No, I wouldn't take it down.
$13.
I'd scare other people off that are $13. Go spend it somewhere else.
I had a gaming chair that was sent to me that's supposed to have the legs come out so you had a footrest.
Uh-huh.
And when I got it out, I put everything together, and one of the bolts came out the front of the leg thing. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way it's going back in. And they asked me if you can take it to a local handyman, have them fix it, and they'll take off $30. And I was like, no, I'm cool. I can send you back whatever you need and all that kind of stuff. They're like, we'll just send you a new one.
Yeah, that's usually easier. Yeah.
So now William has the one that doesn't have the leg rest, and I got one. But
Oh, darn.
I never use
It's
the
still
leg
chairs, though, right? Yeah.
because my legs are long, and so even the leg rests out, I can't like lean back. Like it comes like the back of my calves. I guess I can rest on it, maybe. No. So
I need a chair. I need a new chair.
Amazon.
I think the chair that I own, it's an office chair that dates from when I was married. In fact, it was in our very first apartment.
Yeah, you probably
It's
do.
22 years old.
Or it's just broken in just right.
It is broken in pretty well.
And
so
it's gonna feel weird sitting in
it actually feels okay. So maybe I don't need a new one. A lot of the plastic broke off the star on the bottom that's got the wheels attached to it. All the plastic broke off it, so it's just the metal pieces now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure my cat chewed some of it off. So, because she's retarded. So,
That's fine. She caught a bit of that too.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh.
what, being retarded?
Yeah.
What did she do?
Well, I told you about this, right?
Which part?
I told you about the trying to smooth things over with my own bread.
Oh, that was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, okay, but it was mine to begin with.
Smooth things
If you
over with
haven't,
your
if you
bread.
haven't put that one on the show, that one definitely needs. That's a cool story.
All right. So, the last time I can't remember. I wasn't even gone for that long, but again, I never blame myself for leaving stuff too close to the edge of the counters. Okay. She's usually pretty good about this, but she loves that bread, so she grabbed that bread and took it. Okay. Now,
I seem to recall this.
this has happened before. This is her second loaf. First one, I think she ate all of it. Okay. Now this one, because I wasn't gone very long, right? So I don't think she got to all of it. In fact, I know she did. So I see the bag over there, just on the ground, and I'm like, "Oh, you scoundrel!" And because I'm never like super mad at her. It's like, this is my fault, right? And you've seen her, like, when I get back, she's waiting on a treat because she did good. But she knows
Unless she knows that she did poorly.
So she's got that tail tucked between her legs. She's like, give me that look like you're gonna hit me, but I never hit you.
Right.
But this stings more. And so I'm like, oh, sorry, dog. You just don't get any goodies this time. And she's like wandering around. She doesn't feel good, right? Now, what happened was she ate some of the bread.
Yeah.
And then stashed a whole bunch of it in that couch.
What, behind the cushions or something?
Yeah, she stuffed it.
Oh my god.
What Kizzo would do too.
Yeah. So what she does is she thinks I'm super mad at her.
Yeah.
Okay. So she goes to that couch, digs up some of the bread, brings it to me, and just puts it in
and
front of me.
confesses.
Well, she's like, hey, this is for you. I want you to feel better, right? So,
Eat a piece of bread.
and that was the thing.
Feel better.
I thought she was just going to eat it. It's just like, you're guilty of the crime. I'm not going to do this. But she brings it to me and just sets it right in front of me.
Did you eat it? Did you accept this offering?
I took it, I said thank you, and I gave her a piece of it, and I chucked it because it had been in her mouth. And then that wasn't all of it. So she goes back to the couch, gets some more of that bread, and brings it to me. And then after that, I was like, how much of this is in here? It was like half a loaf of bread.
Stuffed in your couch.
But she's like, I know you're mad. I can smooth this over.
Actually, I'm getting madder now.
No, actually, I was
That's pretty adorable.
I was like,
okay.
You can't be serious.
Yeah.
It's like, this is super cute because dogs don't willingly give up food all
Yeah.
that often.
Yeah.
So when they make an offering, it's like,
Yeah.
I get it. But the whole piece of this was mine to begin with.
Right, yeah.
Right.
It's
And
not
you're
like
still
you
giving
went
me
out and
treats
stole
off
this
of
from
this
the
too.
neighbors.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
You can't break me off a piece of what you stole from me.
right.
Right? It's not.
That's how the real world.
Is it? It's like, I'm going to give you a $20 loan.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a $20 loan off the $40 I jacked from your wallet. Yeah. So the spirit was okay, but it's like, oh, you dumb. I love it.
Talk, you dumb.
Okay, I do have a question. You guys told me not to listen to a show.
Oh, yeah.
Has the time passed enough that I'm allowed to?
Oh yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. So what?
What's the big news item of the week, William?
The abortion thing?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd have to give you that one, and we did not call that one.
There was no way for us to call it. No. But I said it was going to be political.
Oh,
did say
because
it was
of
gonna be
Ohio?
political. What about Ohio?
No. I just
Because they had their primaries
yeah.
or whatever it is, and the Trump-backed one
Oh, JD Vance. Yeah.
took over, and so
I think a lot of people called that one though. So if I'm not mistaken, a couple of the guys that I listened to called that one. So
before or after Trump made
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
all the stuff I was reading was a question about whether or not the Trump endorsement actually meant something.
Yeah.
So they weren't willing to go out on a limb, but they were like, we want to see how this plays out.
Right.
Yeah. This is, are they going after Sherrod Brown's seat? Is he up?
I can't remember who it is.
The Democrat?
Yeah,
It's an
the
incumbent Democrat, though, right?
Yeah.
It's probably Sherrod Brown.
So you were just wagering if the news of the day would be political?
Yeah, that's pretty broad. But I said it would be international. So, specifically
still?
China.
Oh.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so China news did pop up, but it did not hit the big thing.
You thought they'd be
because-
imploding at this point?
Well, I didn't know about that, but they kind of are.
Full-fledged.
Yeah,
Where it would basically be the thing that bumps Ukraine.
yeah.
Well, actually, no. Ukraine got bumped by Elon Musk, and
Right.
then Elon Musk got bumped by
Roe.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. Of course, it was a leak. I don't think anybody did.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Was the leak intentional?
Who knows, man?
Almost certainly.
Well,
Somebody's point of view.
yeah, who knows what kind of point of view it is either. It could be either side on that one. So, I guess they announced a special prosecutor for that today to figure out who did it. So, because to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever.
That's the first.
Well, I'm sure it happened, but maybe on something that was like less consequential, and so nobody like got too butthurt about it. But this one was just kind of like, oh wow. So, but I don't know. I've seen a couple different takes on it where it's like, well, it's still initial draft, and so the court kicks these back and forth all over the place. You're not supposed to drop it for 2 months. Then other ones was like, nah, this one actually looks like it might be the final draft. So
Trying
who
to say,
knows?
oh, this definitely sounds like this person wrote it. And
Well, it definitely sounds like Alito wrote it. So, I don't think I've read too many of his rulings, but he's pretty predictable. Guns are good, gays are bad. So, Obamacare is communism, that kind of thing. So, but I don't know, man.
well, it's the first time in like a while, well, other than the Musk thing, that if I do turn on CNN, that they're not talking about Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the only thing they talk about.
Ukraine, like on my news, the stuff that I read, like on the journal, it's gone back to like page 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff that kind of is going on.
Yeah.
Let us know kind of when it's over. And
Yeah. No, some of the policy shit that I read, it's like still like the thing, because, nuclear war.
well,
Yeah. So, but, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they catch the person who leaked it. They should be able to do that because they all got document controls on them. So, it should be pretty straightforward. I was kind of surprised someone didn't cop to it almost right away. So,
I don't know how that. Yeah, I can't imagine how they wouldn't have like approved people that are allowed to see this stuff
Right.
that you set. Like, it's just crazy to be able to do something like that for a file that big.
well, yeah, and something that consequence. Well, and that's the other thing is like I've been seeing some things just in today, people kind of debating about like how big of a deal is this? Because I mean, like literally just kicking it back to the States is where it was before.
Where it was before.
Yeah, exactly. And so, is it a nothing burger? Is it gonna? I don't think it's gonna rally the Democrats this fall. I just don't know that many people who give that much of a shit about it. So I don't. So do you guys give a shit about abortion?
I think it should be their choice, but I don't care enough to.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same boat.
I'm not a woman, so I guess it.
Right? Yeah, I'm not either. I have no intentions of becoming one.
If you're saying it's not a big deal because we don't care about it, that's inaccurate.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand that's a very limited and narrow view. Okay, let me put it this way. I don't know that many people who are true blue lefties who weren't going to vote anyway and now would suddenly vote. Let me put it that way. This fall.
Okay, let me. There's a lot of people who say that they're wound up about this.
Right.
But these are the same people that said they were going to close their Twitter accounts because Elon Musk bought it. And they're all still right there.
Are they?
Right, yeah, I don't think this actually changes anything
No.
in terms of like turnout and stuff.
No.
No.
As a matter of fact, the interesting thing about this, so I'll just make this clear. I don't really care about this, right? It's really not my deal.
Nope.
Okay. And I do like the idea of the more important part of this was that when they went to their research of it and they took a look at the history of this ruling and the people who have said things about it, including liberal judges who were like, yeah, this doesn't really have solid foundation.
Yeah,
this
like who?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She looked about it and was like, this is going to be challenged eventually, and it has to be.
Well, it's been challenged many times. So many, many times. Just like, what was it, last year was the Mississippi thing. This is the Texas one, right?
Yeah, that's what
I think it, or maybe I got those backwards.
No, Mississippi was last year.
Yeah, okay. So they've tried just about every year.
Well, and they did say, they're like, when you look it down, it's not, it's sort of like cobbled together from different amendments about how they came up with this. So, frankly, I'm just actually a little bit more paused about seeing decisions being kicked back to the states. Anytime that I see any kind of decentralization of government power is always a plus in my book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how I'm going to take it.
This is slavery or something.
Yeah, but we have 50
Yeah, there's like levels that I would say.
We have 50 states now, but this is
Right.
something where I like this because, number one, instead of the choice being decided by a judge, a federal judge, this is something where if you do think that should be legal or illegal, then you can actually campaign for that in your state, where you have
Sure.
a much better chance of making a choice. Right?
Oh yeah, and I mean, like decisions that are made at the state level have a much better impact on like your day-to-day life anyway
Absolutely.
than
Right.
whatever the fuck the federal government does. So, I don't know, man. I think the whole point behind the original ruling, because what is it, like 72?
I think so.
It's like 71, 72 is that like literally, if you kept it just in the state level, there was going to be no movement. So it's kind of like Civil Rights Act, 1964. So you actually had to mandate that at the federal level. Otherwise, there would be no movement at the state level in those individual cases. And so you'd still have, two different drinking fountains in some cases. And so but that came from the same court. This was the Warren Court. All right. At least I think Roe versus Wade. If it's not the Warren Court, it's pretty fucking close. So I don't know how long he was on the court. So
I think it was still there.
he might have still been there. I don't know. I don't know the
Like your wife is like, these guys are so stupid.
We could Google it, but we don't care. Yeah.
We know this dude who specializes in water who's just kind of like, fucking
Look it up, idiots. God, look it up, idiots. Yeah, I don't know the full history behind it, but I don't know. We'll have to see exactly what parts of the original ruling get struck down to. I didn't go and read the draft. Did you guys go read it? Yeah. So, I mean, I've read drafts before, and they're kind of interesting because they get kind of detailed and nuanced about, like, picking apart certain parts of laws and stuff like that. But then, like, leaving the superstructure of that law in place. They do that all the time. And so I don't know if this is that case or what.
And sometimes they draft them with the expectation that this will be reviewed again
Well, and that's
later on down the road.
yeah, and that's what you're not hearing anything about from the court about that, and you won't. But like it could easily be a very rough draft that gets kicked around like 5 more times and stuff. I don't know. That's why like whoever leaked it'll be interesting to see who they are. So if they're like some kind of ACLU lefty, then obviously you know what they're trying to do. I think you could have like someone who's part of like the Federalist Society do it too, just to fucking lock down Alito on his position. So, I mean, both of those are like equally probable. So
They're equally probable. There's also just, as far as I'm concerned, there's as much probability of there not being that rock solid of a motive behind it.
yeah, that's probably true too.
There's also a possibility of like,
Oh, this will be fun.
they're not. Those guys don't have enough.
They don't court for the court.
No
Connections to make it work.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. They don't have enough. Well, it's not just connections. It's also there's not enough straight up for the lulls with those guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But there are some guys in there when they look down the list of usual suspects, which they were showing earlier on today, where I was like, you could easily be convinced by a girl at a bar
Oh, yeah.
to be like, oh, I can't show you this.
Right.
Well,
Just my gut and birth.
you know.
Yeah, you know.
All right. Well, I'm
Yeah.
kind of a big wheel down at the Cracker Factory, so he decides to like check this out, right? And yeah, they the reason that they showed The Usual Suspects were because they were like, these are people that have known ties to journalists.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I could definitely see somebody in the media actually dishing out for that. So,
oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, they don't have Trump to kick around right now. Ukraine's kind of died out. I mean, so the whole, like, in CNN Plus imploded, you know, to the point in time where it's actually like, well, it doesn't necessarily threaten its larger parent corporation, but it definitely gives people an excuse to actually dismantle CNN. I was actually reading some of the financials on that the other day. So you need the ad revenue right now in order to actually drive some business back to those things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much this would actually drive that, though. I mean, it seems like, I don't know. It's just like today I was looking at the news and it was like a couple articles, but I expected it to just be.
It depends on where you go.
Well, okay, I go to a couple different sources. Right? So my primary thing that I read every single morning is Wall Street Journal. So of course it was on the front page of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it wasn't on page number 2. So.
But it was on the front page of the New York Times.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would expect that. So let me put it that way. So.
Yes. And fortunately, this is where I've seen this. Is I've been trolling people on the New York Times like crazy.
On Twitter?
Of course.
Yeah. So you're attacking.
God, these people are worked up about this.
Oh, good. So I guarantee you they would be. So the journal is actually kind of like level-headed about it. It'll affect markets next week. No, their thing is all inflation right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fed had their meeting today, so that was, what's the Fed going to say? Blah, 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 you know, so.
Yeah, but I do have a kind of a follow-up story. We
what?
talked about this dude that we didn't like on television. You couldn't remember his name.
Tucker Carlson?
Nope.
Oh.
The dude that you couldn't remember the name of. Greg Gutfield.
I know him
God.
now because we talked about him.
You want to know something fascinating?
Besides the fact that his eyebrows actually cross each other in the shape of an X.
That adds to the interesting fact.
Okay,
right?
why?
Because when you have the confluence of CNN Plus, right, just catastrophically imploding,
Well,
Greg Gutfeld
yeah.
has the highest rated late night show.
Really?
Being like the Colbert's
Yep.
and stuff.
Oh, well, nobody watches the late night shows anymore, man. So,
Well, I'm telling you,
yeah.
that dude has the top rated late night show.
Yeah,
Have you
that
watched
doesn't
the
really
show?
surprise. What, Gutfield show? Yeah, it's
Oh
terrible.
my god,
man.
it's bad.
It's, yeah.
He gets angry about everything.
He gets
you know?
angry, and
Yeah.
the guests are just kind of like pointless. Like all, it's just all like trying to set up for some lame joke. It's just
Oh, his jokes are pretty bad. So, see, that doesn't surprise me though, because I know that Jon Stewart made off with about all of the Colbert's audience after that rant. So,
Far enough, but
so that doesn't surprise me at all, man. And Jimmy Kimmel's been insufferable for years. So, and I don't even watch the other guy. Who's the other guy? Trevor Noah?
is he one of the late
he
night
doesn't
guys?
count. You're talking about
He's on
Trevor
Comedy
Noah
Central,
and,
though,
and
right?
John
Yeah,
Oliver.
he was.
And,
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I can't stand
And,
John Oliver. So,
who's the other guy? Fallon and
Oh yeah.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, Fallon's. I don't know, man. I watched like the late shows years ago when it had what Craig Ferguson. He
Yeah.
was fucking funny.
Yeah.
So, and then sometimes. So, a lot of times it was like Shrek telling jokes over and over again. You know. That was kind of his gig.
well, that was kind of his gig, and
Yeah.
frankly, to his credit, everything that he did that was funny was the shit that was clearly off the cuff.
Yeah.
The writing team on his show,
they had their moments.
They had their moments,
Yeah.
but they were not. These guys, they were Adam Dunn's, man. They didn't hit for contact. They weren't.
Right.
Yeah,
They were a windmill.
Yeah.
they were windmills. Those dudes were trying to go for the fences or not at all. And
Yeah.
you strike out a lot.
I don't know, man. I've gotten away from late night.
I
television.
have never been into the late night.
No,
stuff,
it was just the news that that dude had taken over late night.
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised by that though. It's Fox, and so people who watch Fox watch it all fucking day, and
That's
so
true.
you know. Did I
watched
hit a
it.
button there?
I have watched that in the oil field.
Yeah, and so you know,
TV was set to that by default.
yeah, that doesn't
By
increase
default.
the ratings. Yeah,
He went in there and did it on his own.
that doesn't increase the
I
ratings.
know. God.
So, yeah. No, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it surprised me that it's Gutfield's show, but I think it's just a function of his time slot rather than his content.
He had a worse time slot, and then they bumped him up to there.
Yeah, when he was on Red Eye,
Yeah.
which was the same
Oh, see, I
show.
thought he was on Red Eye.
No,
He could move to-
like to his name, it's like the Gutfeld.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's been,
And they put him right up against all the late night heavy hitters.
What? So he's on at like what time is that? 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's in the main. Okay, I thought he was still like.
That's
the
what I'm
10
saying.
o'clock guy.
They put him up against the Kimmels. Seriously, he's
Oh yeah, he's gonna destroy all them. So. Yeah.
But it's such a bad show. Like, I even like Fox, I'm just like,
Oh,
I can't.
so he's
watch
on Fox News. He's not on
Fox News. Yeah, Fox
yeah,
News.
okay. Yes.
Fox is probably still The Simpsons at that time.
This cable news crappy program,
Yeah.
okay, has beat all of the primetime
Yeah.
shows.
No, the late night shows are dying badly, so and deservedly so. They're just not funny.
They're not.
They haven't been funny for years. So
Oh, what do you want to say? Around 2016?
yeah, it seems like a lot of shit changed at 2016. So I wonder what else happened that fucking year. What could happen that year, Jeffrey, that would cause the entire media to go insane?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
but it
I bet you it was a lunar cycle or something.
It was, and it was so weird because it caused all the people to make the same jokes
over and over and over.
4 straight years,
4 straight years.
and 2 years after.
Yeah,
Like, here's the thing: is some of those guys, right, would occasionally pick on, like, I don't know, Radio Shack or something like this, something else that deserved mockery.
yeah.
Okay, but you got to remember, this is a cycle that was so bad that they let Samantha Bee have her own show, and she was just the worst.
She was pretty bad. I don't know. I think Alec Baldwin's return was probably the cherry on that cake of the shit cake there.
Possibly.
So, yeah.
He had a late show?
No, he played Trump on
Trump
fucking
on-
SNL. He was terrible.
I haven't
So,
watched SNL and
oh yeah, no, it's useless. It's absolutely useless.
Meaningless.
So, you know, I mean, like every now and then, I don't even think, like, even the last time they dredged like Steve Martin back there, people were like, I don't get the fucking jokes. And you're like, actually, these are the funny ones. So, oh man, it's just like comedy on that level is so bad now. Yeah, I think my father-in-law still watches it. So after the 10 o'clock news, that's when the Tonight Show comes on, if I'm not mistaken. Still,
I think so, yeah.
I think it's just on by default, and he didn't notice it, and so he could turn it to golf. But yeah, he used to be pretty religious about watching those. The last time I spent the week down there, he did not watch them. You know, so.
Well, I mean, this is the thing: is it was the format of this was always you went up there and you did your monologue, and in your monologue you had, I don't know, 5 to 15 cheap shots that you were going to take.
Oh,
because
sure.
somebody did something stupid, right? Something, it's just like, oh, did you see what so and so did in the news today? He fell off a thing.
Yeah.
Joke follows, right?
Yeah.
You move on, right?
Yeah.
There's way too much process. Like there's this.
Oh
thing
no!
where-
It was like even the genuinely comedic moments that they could actually make fun of. Like I gotta say, all right, I did laugh when I found out that he tapes his tie together. So,
That's
come on, that's a good joke.
Yes,
All right, that's
yes.
good for one bit. You don't turn that into 8 different jokes over the course of the next 3 weeks. So-
And you don't need 8 different outlets doing
No,
that.
you don't.
You don't need Trevor Noah and John Oliver,
Yeah.
and Jon Stewart, and
Well, Jon Stewart wasn't around for that.
well, no, but yeah,
To his credit. So, to his credit.
yeah, even he's at the point like I think I might have taken this too far.
Well, no, he wasn't even on TV during the presidency.
No. Like his comeback thing right now is kind of like I kind of started this and I'm not.
I thought he ran through the season already.
Yeah, but he took a much more mild tone. He wasn't.
Oh, he was I watched all of them. So, and he was way less combative,
Deliberately
divisive than he was back on the Daily Show.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or no, the Jon Stewart Show, right?
Well,
I'm reaching two shows.
Yeah, no, it was the Daily Show.
Oh, okay. I thought there was another one in between there. So,
Nah, he took over for Craig
I
Kilborn.
remember Craig Kilborn.
That was a way different show back.
That was a very different show.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's when I started watching it, and then I remember at the time I can't remember what it was that Jon Stewart wrecked before. Not that he was bad or anything. I just don't like him. So some show I was watching brought him on. I'm like, God, I'm sick of this guy.
was Bill Maher.
No, I don't.
Took
think
a bite out of Bill Maher once. Yeah.
He
on
probably
Bill's show.
did. Yeah, he probably did. But yeah, then when Kilborn left and they put Jon Stewart in, I'm like, how many shows do I like that this dude is just going to fucking ruin every time he touches it?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You don't like Jon Stewart?
can't stand him.
Oh, I love him, man.
Yeah, like Jon Stewart.
No,
Oh, no, I always thought he was pretty good. So,
I think he's awful.
him and Colbert. Colbert was great when he had that second character there. So,
He's shit now.
he's terrible now. Well, and Jon Stewart called him out on that.
Colbert worked when he was playing a satire of Bill O'Reilly.
He was perfect. Papa Bear Bill O'Reilly. That was a great show.
That was the whole character.
Yeah. No, I've never had a problem with Jon Stewart.
Obviously,
I don't like John Oliver. I think he's the worst. So,
it was terrible too.
yeah. No, I think he's...
Trevor Noah is fascinating in the sense that so there's two segments that you can watch on Trevor Noah, right? The actual show, he's insufferable.
Yeah.
But then when they go to break and they record the interludes where he's just talking casually with the audience, right?
Yeah.
He immediately backs off what he's been on the offensive with. And he
really?
just kind of talks to them like, yeah, this is, he just talks to them about political things and starts pointing out, this is wrong, but also this is wrong.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. But then as soon as the camera starts again, they're like,
Yeah.
go hard.
Well, he knows where his bread is buttered. And so,
Yeah, but they have the clips.
See, that's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know,
Maybe that's the hook to get people into the show, and I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't know how the world works anymore. So,
you don't have to. All you have to know is that the new king of late night is Greg Gutfeld.
Mr. Charlie Brown eyebrows himself. Yeah.
And he's sitting on a throne of skulls of his enemies.
A throne of skulls of his enemies. Yeah. So, fighting for the late night.
Greg fucking
Well, if
Gutfeld.
he's at 8 o'clock, who's he fighting off now? Because Rachel Maddow retired. Who else is there? Is that Brian Stelter's thing? Oh man, I hope they fucking sink him.
No.
He is
Yeah,
insufferable.
that dude is play acting a human. There's no, you've seen him. Fuck that. It's no, that's
You know
bullshit.
that guy's like 34 and he's bald as fuck.
He's bald as fuck.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
He's fucking
He's younger
crazy
than-
like
he's
that.
younger than we are.
Yeah, he's younger
Yeah.
than us, and it's like, dude, shave the sides, man.
Oh,
It's that fat face of his. It's that
He's got the Joker smile too. It's weird.
it's that
man.
smile. It's the fact that he never sits in his chair the right way. He's always like turning like this way.
This isn't video, but Jeff is contorting his body in ways that make the rest of us
Dude,
uncomfortable.
I'm not lying, man. It's not. He doesn't talk to people in a normal fashion. He always thinks things are funny that aren't funny. Yeah, he's just the worst. He's awful.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody, or at least any of the people that I read or watch, say anything nice about him. Other than, like, actually he's supposed to be like a good dad. You
Is
know?
he?
I guess. I've heard that. I don't know
Why
if
would
it's
we
true.
know this?
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe like there was one thing when he was going on COVID and stuff, and his kids were like interrupting him, and he was being really cool about it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, or
Feed
something
him
like
on
that.
screen.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, he did like go cut your own switch.
Is that the bar?
Standard.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't expect Rachel Maddow to do that. Yeah. So I don't even know, man. I know that her show just imploded over like the last 2 years because the whole Russia thing that she kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually everybody's like, "You're the only person doing it anymore." Yeah. And she's like, "You know what? I'm a centennial millionaire now. I'm out." So,
You know what? And it was unsure that was as Irish exit as it gets. Man,
oh yeah, you just grab her coat and win.
just right out the back window, and MSNBC is sitting there like,
We
"Did
could get Jen's
anybody pay
tacky.
that check?
Yeah.
Is that?"
Right. Yeah.
She rung up like a $1,400 tab.
Yeah.
It was like she ordered like 4 bottles of wine.
Yeah. I don't even know who else is on MSNBC. Keith
Uh,
Olbermann's long gone.
yeah, he still pops up. Just
Oh,
like,
he pops up on his fucking YouTube
just
channel. That
yakking
nobody
about
watches.
some
Yeah.
shit.
Well, he was the guy who did that thing where he wrapped himself in the American flag and he was naked underneath it, and everybody was like, "What?" Or something. Like, yeah. There's a oh man, it's weird. So, and who else they had? Ed Schultz died, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he was just kind of he actually he pissed off NBC enough to the point in time where they had to kick him over to RT.
It's RT.
Russia, yeah. So if you're like a hard lefty, that's where you go. Okay, so because eventually, like, you piss off the corporate masters at MSNBC, and you have to go over to like the TV version of BreadTube, which is RT.
Gosh, yeah.
But nobody goes there anymore, so it got shut down. But he went over there. He was actually pretty cool. I don't even know who some of the other guys were on there.
Yeah, just like the old timers dudes that I know that aren't there anymore, for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't even know like how many people even watch MSNBC.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, it's considerably less since 2020. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, okay, I believe that. So, I know Maddow had a pretty big audience for a while.
She did. She was their heavy hitter. I mean, she was always losing to, Carlson and...
she had been losing to O'Reilly for years. So,
yeah.
until he got Me Too'd.
You know what? It was only a matter of time with that guy.
With that guy was a little greasy.
Like you can see some dudes when they walk in, and you're like, I think I can pick the crime that you'll be indicted on. And you're taking squares in the office. Like, I've got when he's gone, they look over and they say who had 2 years, or it's like who had November.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
You find out that his name is on the board and he just won the prize.
Yeah. It's like $240.
Right, yeah, that's what's in the pot. Because everybody wants that square. How much are you going to put in? $1.
You knew that guy was done. You're like, you can't look like that and act like that, but also act as piously as you do.
So did Gutfield bump Hannity?
Hannity goes before
Okay.
Gutfield, and Tucker's before.
Tucker's before Hannity.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Gutfield brings up the fan, huh?
And then is it Laura Ingraham that
Yeah.
brings
She's
up the
still
rear?
on there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Well, she might be after Hannity and then Gutfield.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So you watch all those shows?
Occasionally,
Oh, okay.
but if there's nothing else on, I'll throw it on as default if I'm doing some work,
Oh, I got you. That makes sense.
and then
Yeah, CNBC at that point in time is just reruns of Shark Tank.
Yeah, you got to cross the midnight hour before they actually
Talk about foreign markets.
it goes to
Yeah.
Europe. Yeah. And that's where Yeah, I always remember that because every day I was like, "What's the footsie?"
Right, yeah. What's the footsie?
Footsie.
Yeah.
That's the foreign.
Foreign exchange.
Oh,
But I was like, "That's a cute name."
Yeah. So it's like, oh, London had a rough open. It's gonna be a tough day. So yeah, no, I'm not up that late. So, well, that's a lie. I don't watch any cable TV. I mean, like, I've been watching baseball, some baseball.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, because thanks to the YouTube TV, I do have the MLB.
They show games on Prime too.
They do. I don't get any Rockies games though, man. So,
Well,
yeah,
there's ways to do that.
there are ways to do that. So I used to have the MLB app. They want too much money now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like $100.
It's like $100. Yeah. And I was kind of like, oh, this app makes my phone chug. And so and I don't really want to watch it on my phone anyway. I want to watch it on the TV over there. And
Well, you can it has an app for that, and then you just stream
is it a
through
different one?
Yeah, or you can.
Oh,
The other
okay.
thing is, they also have an app for that on your Xbox or.
My brick box. So, but no, if they have it on that, they'd have
It works on the computer.
They'd have it
And-
on my
yeah.
Fire Stick. So,
Oh, I'll bet you they do.
yeah.
Actually,
I just don't think I'm going to pay for it though. So, I mean, the MLB channel's always got games on it. So, it's just, I don't get to get picky about what's watching, which is actually kind of cool because it's kind of like watching TV at the bar.
true.
Well, I understand. Okay, so the problem that I had when I had that was I sometimes felt obligated to watch it.
Because you're paying money.
That's
Oh, the
correct.
MLB?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, I suppose. But sometimes you're like, I don't care about the Phillies or the Pirates. Why am I
Right,
watching
why-
them play
yeah.
each other?
yeah.
I need to do something else.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Tom, we're going for a walk.
Go touch
I
grass.
don't care how cold or rainy it is.
Yeah.
I'm not watching this fucking game.
Yeah. No, I am. Yeah, so in the MLB, just the actual channel is good enough for me. So,
That's fair.
yeah, and sometimes you can get other games on TBS and stuff like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Almost all of them are Braves related.
I don't know if it's like that anymore, is it?
Really?
I mean, I know they used to just be exclusive Braves, but I don't think they're.
Well, that's what they used to call it, right?
All right. Well,
The Brave Station.
Well, yeah, but
I
it's
get
Turner Broadcasting, whatever.
Well, no,
yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was they have other teams on there now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
it's just like TNT showing basketball or hockey.
They show hockey,
Right.
yeah.
yeah. No, I don't know. But yeah, that's the only TV. The rest of the TV that I watch is fucking YouTube now. So, and nothing but. So, I've got like 200 channels that I'm subscribed to. So there's always something I haven't seen. So
Wow.
yeah.
How much is YouTube?
The TV? Oh shit, I don't know. It's probably more expensive than I think it is now.
I think when I was set up, it was like 35 or
It's like $50 now or something.
50
Yeah.
bucks.
There are a lot of channels on that motherfucker though. So
Are
no.
they like regular channels?
Oh yeah.
Like,
All your local channels.
It's your
It's like having cable.
it's okay.
And then you can pay them extra bucks if you want, like, I don't know, stars and Cinemax and, stuff like that. They used to have HBO on there, but I don't think they do anymore. I think HBO's all on its own. now.
Yeah, I think those guys have.
Yeah, they kind of sailed their own shit. Paramount was on there for a long time. They're not on there anymore. But Paramount was just like one channel that just showed Indiana Jones all the time. And so, like, then they launched their entire streaming service. I'm like, that's a lot of Indiana Jones. But then you realize there's actually quite a few Paramount movies. It's just they just show Indiana Jones a lot. So,
Well, I mean, that's the other thing is Paramount as a streaming service. They're going all in on Star Trek, which is why they keep
yeah.
They have released in the past 2 years like as much Star Trek has ever existed.
Right. Yeah, didn't they just greenlight another season of Picard?
I don't know. I don't really care. It was that bad.
what I hear,
I
yeah.
mean, this is at this point. This is the beginning of Men in Black. You know, this is a bug in a man suit. There's no semblance of what was there. It's just wearing its skin.
Yeah.
So, you know, the only thing that you and look, and a lot of those shows are like this. And Star Wars is like this. It's an alien parading around in a suit. This is all just body snatcher shit.
I didn't read it, but I saw that Obi-Wan is getting review bombed. So
It's doing terrible.
that's what I just saw the headline. That's all I saw. So I did not read it.
I didn't look into it.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to watch it. So there's no Star Wars as far as I'm concerned. I'm on a
I
10-year
think it
break.
starts Friday.
Oh, it's not out already.
Well, let's just say review bombed.
Does that happen before?
Yeah.
It's that. Oh, okay.
Because Moon Knight just ended today.
That
I
wasn't-
think I didn't quite finish it. I got like 10 minutes left.
Was the first 50 minutes dope? You're not saying yes. That's the problem.
You're not immediately saying this was the most awesome thing ever.
Any of these things being good.
I don't really like any of the characters in the whole show. Even the animated gods are kind of.
You're not selling this, man. Just say it sucks.
It
Just say it.
looks like
Do it. Do
all
it.
the people
Say it. Say
that
it.
aren't regular people are like just
Suck.
cardboard cutouts that are put in there in the background that they just kind of. It just does not feel like it's anywhere remotely in a real world.
What does that mean?
Like, Moon Knight looks like you have a background and somebody has a popsicle stick of Moon Knight doing
Dancing
that,
around, yeah.
and then they have the gods fighting, and they're like, and they're just like moving them around and just
They like plastic dinosaurs.
yeah, like it looks like you almost see a hand holding some of the thing. Like,
This is actually harsher criticism than what Jeff and I just suggested.
like I think if they stood them there for a still shot, maybe it's okay. But once they start doing stuff, it's just
And this is Moon Knight?
Moon Knight.
Oh, okay.
He's nowhere near like all the stuff because I don't know the character at all, but everything I was hearing about this character is like he's a badass Batman, dark,
But he's
menacing, with craziness to it. And all the way through the show, I'm like, you kind of suck, dude. Why are you even here?
What a great question.
It's just.
Evidently,
And then I know one of your favorite parts, since what you define as that's what defines you. I guess there's another. His girlfriend becomes a superpower, and one of the regular people go, "Oh my God, are you an Egyptian superhero?" And she goes, "I am." And I'm like, "Oh God, Jeff would have just literally like thrown something at the screen." That's
you
what
just say
just
what you are?
happened. Well, she got powers she became the avatar of one of the Egyptian gods.
Okay.
And so now she has superpowers, and she
Sweet.
saved somebody, and she goes, "You're an Egyptian superpower?" "I am." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Okay.
So you just declare your ethnicity now.
Yeah. And this is what... And I was just like, oh, wow. Jeff would have lost it right there.
So-
if Jeff had gotten to the 6th episode.
Yeah.
done.
Is there an Aryan character? That'd be interesting. Are you an Aryan super god?
We all are.
Okay.
That's the point. Yeah, that's this.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I got like 10 minutes left.
Look, in your case, you just happen to be 93.6% of the way through, see it through to the end, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. What I read today, okay, is about the new Doctor Strange movie.
Okay.
Doctor Strange is introducing a character called America Chavez.
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
She's the one from Cyclops Land.
Do you care who that is?
No, she's in my game, and I don't know nobody ever uses her
Oh, well, you know why she's there?
because she's gay. No.
I think trans.
Well, I think she's gay, and she has
And
two
Mexican?
mommies.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so
See, that's like fucking tame now.
well, no,
Right.
but here's my issue, right? And I get that. That's kind of tame, right? But
Very tame.
my question is, can you tell me anywhere in any format that you've read or people that you know, how many people have said, "Boy, I like that America Chavez. That's my favorite character."
I don't even know when she was invented, so I don't know how far back this goes.
So her only trait and the only thing you know about her is she might be gay, and I know for sure they reference that she has two mommies.
But the only reason I knew she was gay is because I've heard stuff in the news kind of thing, or that they didn't hire somebody that actually is gay or
Right,
something,
right,
or in
right.
whatever. That's a dumb reason, like, be mad because they're actors.
Are
Why?
people mad?
It seems like they're mad with like every movie that comes out. There's something like this Moon Knight thing. They hired Poe Dameron. He's
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
and he's not he's not actually Jewish or something like that. And
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
playing a
Stuff
Jew,
like that.
and so
Yeah.
they're like, "Why didn't you hire a real Jew?" And it's like,
Wasn't it Julia Louis-Dreyfus who was making that case or something?
was it? Oh my god!
No. She was making a counter case against that.
Oh, well, I hope so.
I can't remember.
Well, I guess I would flip around and say, to plenty of Jews who have played Gentiles.
I think that's I think that's along the lines. I don't know if it was her exactly, but it was one of those. It was somebody Jewish who'd been around for a while, who kind of said exactly what she said. Yeah, I can't remember.
Little bit overrepresented, I would say. Well, okay.
Who cares?
Who cares? No, look, this goes back to, what was it? A couple of years ago, there was that movie where Cranston was going to play a paraplegic or somebody with MS, and they didn't want him to do it because he wasn't actually handicapped,
Yeah,
and people shit their pants. There was that
I
movie.
vaguely remember that.
There was another movie that got scrapped entirely because Scarlett Johansson was going to play a trans person. They said she's not actually trans
Because she wasn't born with the penis.
and so they scrapped the whole movie.
I don't think I'd go see that movie anyway.
Dude,
Yeah.
what am I gonna get from this?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna have an actual movie, or is this just gonna be?
They're just going to murder off the industry unless they, start cranking out John Wayne movies again or something,
Well,
So-
see, that's the thing.
Isn't that John Wick?
No, they're not quite the same, man.
Okay.
So you got to have guys who aren't dark, all right? So this, dark and brooding character.
Oh,
kind of thing.
okay.
Fucking stop that shit. We've had enough of it, man.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you didn't have to murder the dog. So it adds levity to the story. Not what's the opposite?
Levity?
What's the opposite of levity?
You're talking
Weight.
pathos. You're talking about.
Sure, yeah. So fucking knock that shit off. Give me who the bad guys are, and let's just do this. So I'm tired of your 8-act setup here. All right, so give me my good 3. These are the bad guys. Show me the gun, right? So
You show the gun
Yeah.
in Act 1. Mm-hmm. You fire it in Act 3.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's Chekhov's
Let's
gun.
keep
That's
it
how it works.
simple. Let's keep it simple.
Well, look, a lot of it is really simple. Okay, a lot of it is really simple. It's just you're asking for these things to be carried by dumb shit.
Oh yeah. Well, you're trying to make me care about things that I just can't bring myself to care about. I've gotten to the point in time where I watch John Wick. I don't even care they killed Dog anymore. It was like, why wouldn't you fucking care? Well, yeah, I get it. All right, but then you watch 3 more movies behind it. Yeah, it's like, whatever, okay, I got
It
it.
really doesn't matter.
Is it the dog doesn't matter. Your body count apparently does.
Yeah,
the fact that you can do cool things with all kinds of different weapons and whatnot.
Yes.
So, and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Look, and I will say with the John Wick movies, there's a certain, especially as they go on,
Yeah.
right, where they really expect you to just embrace the absurdity of it. And
It becomes a John Woo film.
I lost.
Yeah.
I lost it. I just couldn't
well, if
keep
you're
up with it anymore.
if you're there for the stupid, then you get what you want, right?
Sure.
And I'm not endorsing this because I'm like, all right, the last one I saw, I seem to recall him fucking whooping some dude's ass with a book. It was awesome.
Yep,
Right?
that did happen.
It was a book fight. I was like, this is great. It's like the rest of the movie around this is just like paper thin. Like these are just
Oh, there's
Jason Bourne movie
it is
all over
just
again.
bring
It's Jason
people
Bourne
into
8,
shit.
you know? So,
well, at least in John Wick's case, the choreography is fantastic. Jason Bourne is just
yeah, it's a little janky. Yeah. So,
it's like I can't watch this.
I can't watch. Well, especially after the first one. It's kind of like I can't watch this anymore. So, I don't know.
You're right. All this Jason Bourne, so Mr. Bourne. It's like found you. It's like I don't want to be found. Well, we found you.
We found you. It's not finding me.
25 year old. I don't want to be found.
Yeah, Marco.
We found you. There's another layer of government that's freaking.
Yeah, there's a whole nother government agency you didn't even know about that's ready for you. So, that's waiting for you.
I mean, if I seem to recall, I seem to recall in the first movie, like there was a scene where he took on a dude,
With the
a
magazine.
sniper with a shotgun, and it was sweet. And it was the way that he had to deal with that. And I seem to recall enjoying that very much. But that could be muddled in with any number of things.
Yeah, no, that did happen in the first movie.
And he had to move up on him, and it was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, he blew up a propane tank and distracted the dude.
Yeah, I seem to recall liking that. I was like, oh, that's clever. I bet you this is good for about one movie. And then
You were correct.
There's a billion.
Just like Mission Impossible. So,
Mission Impossible is what it is.
oh, I know, and it doesn't pretend to be anything else other than a vehicle that drives money towards Scientology. So we get that.
Well, okay, but it has an extreme emphasis on like, look, you're here for stunt work. You're gonna get
stunt work. Yeah,
we will find enough ways to make this look because it's
It's James Bond. Yeah.
well, it's all practical stunts.
Yeah.
Right. That's the appeal. Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just.
Done with the garbage that's getting put out.
I'm tired of people telling me what I should care about. So I'm not gonna do it anymore. So you should care about your child and start. Fuck that. Fuck my childhood.
Oh, bro.
So don't Indiana Jones up the place. Stop that.
Well,
Stop it.
They have been pushing that corpse wagon uphill for a long time,
And I've had
so-
enough of it.
Yeah.
It is time for me to like.
Well, it's time for us to move on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time for us to. We have to accept that those things of our childhood are no longer for us.
No, they're not for us.
They're not marketing for us.
No, I'm actually looking forward to the age now, and I'm at the age where I don't feel obliged to watch what my daughter watches. And so there'll be a generational gap between us, and it'll be beautiful because she'll have some movies out there that she watches, and I'm like, what the fuck is this garbage? You know, this stuff's gonna rot your brain, kid.
I am not at that.
I am looking forward to that very much. So she's kind of like split a wedge on me now with like her YouTube watching. So she's got things that she watches on YouTube that I'm just like, this is dumb.
There's been plenty of that.
Good. That's a step in the right direction.
There's
I'm
been
waiting
plenty
for
of that.
movies next.
Okay,
So-
but look, I will make this distinguishment. Okay, I will bet you that a lot of the crap that I watch on YouTube would also not jive with you
Yeah, that's
or
fine.
in my cohort.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll take the generational gap if I can identify it. In this case, I guarantee you some of it is definitely that because she's watching all this teenage stuff, you know, and I'm like, nah, I don't know anything about this.
Well, the teenage stuff is just an annoying stuff, and
It is kind of annoying. So I do check a little bit of it out just to make sure it's not like, you know,
right.
yeah. It's like, Daddy, I should have a penis. Oh, no. We gotta go talk. Yes. I don't worry about that with my daughter, by the way.
I don't know if she's gonna get into the whole romancy stuff and all
That's
that kind of
starting.
stuff.
That's
Is it?
starting. Yes. So you got a couple years, but
No, well, no, that's probably right.
Twilight is like the thing, like
It's okay.
the
who's
teen-
dating who?
Oh.
And yeah, it's starting, man. So it's harmless, though.
Yeah, that's absolutely harmless.
harmless.
That's par for the course.
Yeah, that's
just
just part of
annoying
being a
as a-
kid, you know, and
as a dad,
transitioning over to middle school. So, you know,
Well, me, dude. So I mean, like, I'm of course going to be looking at this stuff for like its literary merit.
yeah, yeah.
not much of it.
I don't know, man.
Did you ever read the Twilight books?
I read a little bit of it.
You
God,
make
it
it all the way
was
through.
so bad.
Yeah.
The
Ugh.
How about Harry Potter? Did you ever read those?
No, but I never had the interest.
Yeah.
Just to be fair, like,
Yeah,
Those were good.
they are pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I understand that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but it's just like it's just a genre that's just not that.
yeah, fair enough.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you'd find tons of holes in those too. So, I can find them. I know you can.
I didn't go for it, but yeah, sure.
Listen, look, I don't look for holes, and I mean, Will was here when I was teaching a class. I don't know how much he was listening, and like, I freely insult, okay, even the classics that I'm reading, because these are things like Mary Shelley. She doesn't do this effectively, right?
Right. Yeah.
As I was joking about with one of my students, I was like, she built suspense for all of one page.
Right.
Literally one page. Right? Here's the setup. Here's the murder. One page.
Yeah.
That's not what she's good at.
Right.
What she's good at is this extended metaphor that's going on through here. I'd like you to examine this, right? Why does she choose a weenie of a character instead of a hero?
Right.
This makes all the difference, right? I've been picking on him the whole book, but she's been picking on you.
Yeah, she's
right.
really
So yeah, that's fine. So even the best authors, it's not that I'm looking for holes, and I'll certainly acknowledge that they have a weakness. I mean, that's totally okay. But if the story accomplishes what it sets out to do, right? Because I gotta tell you, what movie I watched the other day that I was much more pleased with than I remember? Man of Steel.
I like that one.
Oh, the first one.
Man of Steel.
I've loved that the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it great? No, but
No.
it accomplishes what it wants
Yeah.
to accomplish.
I
Yeah.
thought it was great. So
That's the one where Kevin Costner gets sucked up by a tornado,
Yeah.
right?
See, that's so
Yeah.
bizarre. Like, I could sit there and say that's bizarrely out of character for
No, it's not.
the Superman
Yeah.
mythos, and I'm like, all right, but it's this Superman, that's fine.
Yeah.
They got enough of this right, and they actually made me believe for the first time, even including the Gene Hackman movies, where well, because evidently in like '77, people were like, "This is amazing."
Oh, yeah.
What was the
I
tagline?
remember
Was like,
watching it as a kid, so
the tagline was, "You will believe a man can fly,"
I don't remember that, but sure. So
and that was one of their selling points. Whereas in Man of Steel, it was like, okay, I will believe that beings from another planet with actual like hypersonic superpowers are having fights on our planet, and it actually doesn't look like so I have a problem with like some movies with like around that Matrix era,
yeah.
where like they're trying to say like this dude got he like punched you, right? And they're always doing it with the two wires where they make you fly back, and maybe they do a corny little flip.
Yeah.
So it looks like they take the punch and then they just like kind of softly move away.
Yeah.
And in Man of Steel, like when somebody gets decked,
Yeah. They go through
it actually,
buildings. Yeah.
and it's not slow. It actually feels like a really impactful thing.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this movie is doing exactly as advertised. They didn't K-19 me. They didn't say,
This is a movie about submarines. No, it's not. It's about radiation. Yeah.
they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I got what they said they were going to do.
Well, I'd like to see more of that. So, this just gets
Plenty of it out there, though.
I guess, man, but I'm not going to dig through the indie piles to go find it. So, quite honestly, I'm going to have to hear it from like, a couple different people that this movie's tits and you should go watch it, Pat. I mean, and I don't even think you'd get me to a theater again. So, unless it was like, I don't even know.
what event it would have to be.
I can't even imagine what it would actually take to get me to the theater anymore. You got to make Saving Private Ryan 2 or something.
You wouldn't like that.
I wouldn't like that either.
wouldn't
Let's
like a sequel
let's
to that.
redo Iwo Jima then or something. I'd go see that. All right, at the theater. I didn't even go see the fucking Midway movie, and that's kind of my jam. So
It is.
it totally is. But then I looked at some of the previews. And was like, the ships are way too fucking close. Fuck this.
Where you're looking for nothing but historical inaccuracy.
Yes, that ruins it for me too, man. So I don't even know what it would take to get me to the theater anymore.
You know what it would be? It was if your daughter started asking you to take her, you go.
She asked me to go to Dumbledore the other day. I was like, nah, I'm good.
I went and saw that.
Oh man.
How was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. I like the first ones more.
Yeah.
They look like they tried really hard to set up this elaborate plot.
Right.
Everything was intertwined, and this is super important. Pay attention to this, and then all of it was just kind of like.
My wife said she missed Johnny Depp the entire movie.
She went to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, did she take your daughter?
That was it was terrible without him.
Yeah, I know. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She's like, all I could think about was the entire movie. There's no Johnny Depp.
And I like the guy that
Sure.
played him, but
Not the same.
it was
Yeah. Yeah.
terrible.
No, I get it. I mean, I watched the first one and I was like, nah, it's okay. And I watched about half the second. I was like, I'm done. So I'm done with this one. So now I'm full on Harry Potter. I'm good for the rest of I'm good for a decade.
I didn't know there's 2 more coming out. I thought this was the final
You're fucking
one.
kidding me.
I had no idea. I was like, for a finale. I mean,
There's 2 more.
she's like, there's 2 more. I was like, what?
Oh.
Well, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it would actually take for me to actually go pay money.
I love the theater experience.
Me too.
So I'd go watch like an IMAX presentation of like an hour and a half of satellite footage over the planet. I'd watch that. So
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
Okay.
I'd watch like if Attenborough comes out with a new thing on IMAX, I'd go fucking watch that in the theater. Maybe. Nah, I wouldn't
They don't
do that.
do that at all anymore.
They don't do it. I know. The IMAX is always, oh no, we got to pack it in with Marvel movies. It's like,
Dude, it used to be nothing but Attenborough's.
I
Yeah.
know, yeah. So, well, especially when you had to go to Denver.
Yep.
It was the only place that had an IMAX in the Museum of Natural History
Yep.
up there, you know? And so now that everybody's got them, it's like, oh, well, we can put Indiana Jones on this. Let's do that. I was like, I don't want to fucking watch Indiana Jones on this.
I do.
So I get that, man. So they can have your money.
And they're getting it on
Can't have mine.
Saturday.
So what you going to go see on Saturday?
Strange.
Oh, okay. Cool. Have fun.
Okay. We did talk about this.
What?
Specifically about Marvel movies in China. Did you read why the new Spider-Man didn't release in China?
No, why?
There was a stipulation that China asked them to make that they wouldn't comply with.
What was it? Please tell me it was something really asinine.
China said, remove the Statue of Liberty from New York.
Is that for real?
That is for real.
Oh, fuck, that's hilarious.
Wow, I posted that the other day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen
God.
it. So I haven't seen it.
Remove the Statue of Liberty
Holy
from New York.
Is he on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you follow him on Twitter?
Yeah, those guys don't really.
They don't do. Okay.
Like they don't get into really good fights. I'm there where the drama is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you go find the fights.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You load back into the
Oh, yeah,
server if
dude,
there's
just-
not enough PvP. Huh?
Dude, you know where your battlegrounds are. If you hang around CNN and
Oh, yeah.
the New York Times and a couple of those are basically
Dude,
like,
that's like hunting grounds. Man.
oh yeah, and all you have to do is just like throw the weakest ass chum. Like there's an art to it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very good at it.
But if you just throw certain chum into that water, you're guaranteed to piss
Right.
people off.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't get into arguments. I just get it in there to make people
And
laugh.
then you just
Right.
quietly sneak out the back and
Oh,
just
yeah.
let it all explode.
Yeah, I'm
No,
mad.
you literally just chum
That's-
the water. Yeah.
I said Irish exit because I know what it is. Like I'm
I've
gonna.
never heard of an Irish exit.
I hadn't either.
Oh no! Oh.
Yeah, that's a new one. I've never heard that.
Oh. This is another one of those just like you know.
I know what Jewish lightning is.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So
And Will's making a face. He doesn't
I-
know.
yeah,
know
I know what a Wyoming Red Bull is. So,
Yeah, that's it. He invented it.
I invented it.
Yeah, you were there at its creation. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never heard of.
No,
an
this is
Irish
the
exit.
same thing. It's Canadian resets, American.
I know what a
resets.
Canadian reset is.
Yeah, this is a Dutch rudder. This is
That's
a
disgusting.
well. if it's just a rudder, it's fine. You have to make it Dutch.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what an oven is, but then you know what a Dutch oven is.
Yeah, and it's not a cooking utensil. Well, it is a cooking utensil.
Well, sort of. I mean,
Sort of.
farting under the blanket. So
Yeah.
this is so yeah. Irish exit. That's the same thing. It's just
I'd never heard that one, though.
slip out the back door
I guess. Okay.
or out the bathroom window. That's the.
Okay.
I'm not trying to pick on an ethnicity. I'm
No,
just
I
saying
get
either
that. I
it's
just
either-
don't get the reference.
Oh.
Why would you be Irish to do that?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Man,
All
it's,
right. I'll let you off the
it was
hook.
the other, well, what was the other one? A Russian left turn.
You made that up.
I did not.
Oh, I thought you did.
I did not make that up.
Oh, okay. I thought you made that. I've been actually spreading that one. So,
Nope, I didn't make that up. That's the
okay.
thing.
All right. All right. So they tried to erase the Statue of Liberty.
And they wouldn't do it.
Well, of course they wouldn't do it. So China's not going to let Marvel movies back in there anyway. They're making their own now. So
Well, that was recent. That was just like a year ago?
what? That was a year ago?
Spider-Man movie?
If that.
Yeah. But my understanding is, what was it? 2019 was the last year they let one in?
Yeah, and it was a Spider-Man movie. Yeah.
It was the previous one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised, man. They don't let Disney movies in there anymore. So,
Well, I know Mulan played there,
Since they filmed it there?
yeah.
and the Chinese made fun of it.
The Chinese made a lot of fun of it, and then they did actually launch the last Star Wars Episode 9 in there, but it only lasted in the theater 10 days. And nobody went to go fucking see it, because apparently the Chinese hate Star Wars. So, like the population, they don't get it. So, because of course, they didn't have any Star Wars until 2010. So, they're like, look at the effects on this. They pulled a William. They said, look at the effects on this. It's terrible.
Exactly what I do.
So, yeah, I don't know though, man.
You know what? I can't pick on William because I mean I suppose there's also there's a lot of fart smelling on my own part where it's like, oh, this was made before 1985. It must be art.
It must be good. Yeah. So there's a lot of movies through the 70s that you can go back and rewatch, man. So
Well, man, I don't know when Critters released, but I mean
it's pretty close. What do you guess? 84 on the first ones? Yeah.
Is it bad? I haven't watched
It's
it.
terrible.
Critters is awesome. Yeah, okay,
Oh, come
so,
on,
no. It's all right.
It's art.
It's definitely art of its own kind.
It is
So
not art. It is exactly what it is. There's a couple of funny jokes in there, right, that have no basis being as funny as they are.
Gremlins is the same way.
Yeah.
There's some jokes in there that just don't land anymore, man. So
Well,
Gizmo Kaka.
yeah. So
it was like I told you. I watched the Monster Squad a couple of months ago,
yeah.
and I gotta tell you, like in the 80s, people were queers, and it's young kids, and they're just calling each other gay.
Yeah,
for
I know.
2
Yeah.
straight hours with every slang term that you can. That's
yeah.
the movie.
Dropping F-bombs left and right.
With also monster fights, but also they just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they even dropped a couple of those in E.T., if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah. He called his brother penis breath.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why the term we use is 80s gay, because we know that's
Right, yeah, it's
nothing
totally
to do with
different.
what we
Yeah.
meant.
No, it's totally different.
And you know what? And we don't know. But don't get me wrong. I understand at this point, like, this word has historically hurt a lot of people.
What, gay?
Well, the deviations of it.
Some of them, yeah. No. I don't know.
I mean,
I know plenty of people now who are gay, and they'll drop that one left and right.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. But
So,
I suppose that's like N-word territory.
Well, not one word. The British cigarette. I've never heard someone who is gay actually drop that one and say, "Oh, that's okay." So don't like that one. So I get that. So, but you're right. I'm sure that it's got dropped in Goonies a few times. So before it got scrubbed down. So,
Well, okay, all right. So I did know, thanks to some of the fucking artsy-ass losers that, as you're well aware that I was with somebody who had CC. And
Yeah, I know.
That sort of crowd. So there were people
a long time ago, though.
Oh yeah, it was, but it was 20 years ago, and they were still. I don't know if I should say this.
then don't.
If you're questioning it,
Yeah.
probably your own filter is filtering it. And you're
Yeah,
trying to
your
break
filter's
through.
pretty strong, so it'll probably just offend us. So now you want to say it anyway, don't you?
No.
Then don't. Yeah.
I kind of beat you up with that last week.
Yeah.
You can be like, stop it, don't do it.
Don't
Like,
do
I'm gonna
that,
do it
man.
anyway.
No. So you just walked right over me, man.
After me,
So-
you piece of shit.
Yeah, because Pat, he's like totally in with the woke crowd, blah, blah, blah. Jeff, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that. It was just kind of like you're all being like Mr. Corporate, and you're like,
Yeah, I got to be careful. I got a fucking job. So.
I do too.
You ain't gonna get fired for years. So,
Well, I guess I should say this. So a number of my students, of course, are not from here,
right.
which is great. And every now and then, certain discussions do come up, especially with the older ones. Okay, I'm not talking about the kids. And some of them do have less than progressive opinions.
Oh, absolutely. Coming from overseas?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I can tell you all about that. How many students from Pakistan have you had?
Oh, the Middle East?
The very same.
I've had a few, not Pakistan per se.
Oh, okay.
What was the last one? Was Iran?
Ooh, that one can go either way.
No, I know how.
I've seen that one. That one can go either way. So I've had a couple of Iranian students over the years. It can go either way. They can either be really cool or they can be like, "Oh my God, you said what?" You can't do that in America, man.
What do you mean? Women are things.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Professor, you gonna let me tell? You gonna let her talk to me that way? I was like, yeah.
I'm gonna let her talk.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna talk to her that way.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. You keep treating her like she's like Marvin Gardens or some shit. Like, it's not how this works.
Yeah. Can't drop two houses on it, man. So, you got to own all three, man.
You can't mortgage that.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I had that.
I've had that from Eastern European students as well. So,
How far eastern?
so I don't think I've had any Ukrainian students, but I've had quite a few Romanian ones over the years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My understanding is there are subtle differences between those two things, coming from my soft, precious Western ears. That sounded the same.
You're saying it's 80s gay? Yeah.
Yeah, but not talking about gay people. Yeah. So, yeah, I've had a couple of students over the years who are really cool about that from
Yeah.
those regions, and I've had a couple where they peel your skin, kind of. What? I can't say that. in
Way
class?
worse
No,
than
you
radio?
cannot say that in the class. Yes.
Way worse.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Wow.
So I mean, like in blue collar environments, people like I had a guy do this to me at the bar the other day. He's like, "Pat, do you like jokes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like jokes." And I was like, I knew exactly where this one was going because he's screening me, and he gave me this screamingly stupid racist joke. All right.
Was it one of the classic ones that we covered?
No, it was one that had been totally stitched together from 4 or 5 different jokes in the past. Okay, and it was just like, he was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "That one's pretty rough, dude." And I just left it like that. So he won't give me another one of those jokes. All right.
Yeah.
So that's how it works in a blue collar environment. All right. So someone will approach you with a bad joke or something like that. You can either play along or you can, like, that's always been my response. That one's a little rough, man. You be careful with that. You might hurt somebody with it, But then, like, some of the students that I've had from overseas, they just don't get it, man. So it's one of those things where it's like, you cannot.
Well, you're talking about the ones where it's like, hey, come here.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to have this discussion now, or we're going to have to go talk to the chair because you cannot speak to her that way, So,
2 minutes. Come here.
2 minutes. Yeah, come here. I've had to have that conversation only a couple times, but it's been like,
Wow.
there was one time where like the whole class was like, oh,
I had to do that too.
and I was like, all right, guys, we're taking 5. Amir, come here. We need to go talk. What?
Look around and be like, what? Me?
You cannot do that, man. So you do not interrupt her. You do not talk down to her like that when she's trying to make a point. If you have a problem with this, we need to actually sort this out right now, man. So,
Wow.
Yeah, I had a Russian exchange student in high school that
yeah.
let fly some very
Pointed language directed towards your black students.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had that one too. Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah, I had that one happen at the community college, and it wasn't with a Russian student, but it was with somebody. I think he was actually from Poland. So, and a black guy had rubbed against him, and he just went. It was crazy, and the guy didn't even mean to do it. He was just trying to get in a seat.
Right.
Yeah.
And this dude went nuclear, and it was like, whoa! Fortunately, the black guy was like, he was like, get the fuck out of here. He just looked at him like, whoa, man, I've never seen this. It's like they exist in the wild. I'm going to go home and tell my mom.
Yeah.
So he was cool about it, but the other dude, I was like, man, the hallway now. So,
wow.
Yeah, I remember saying like either you sort that out or I'm gonna let him sort it out for you.
oh, see, that's pretty good. I wish I had thought of that at the time because this dude was pretty monstrous.
Yep.
So yeah, he was pretty monstrous. He had the full dreads and everything too. He was a cool guy. So.
Well, it was funny because ultimately there wasn't that much offense taken by it, but because they were kind of having a little back and forward, it was friendly, right? It was friendly at first, but it's like,
Oh.
whoa, you didn't just step over the line, man. You got a running start. You're
Yeah.
like it escalated a little bit far. So that's where the other guy was kind of like, he's not from here, right? Again.
Yeah, no, the one that I had, it was like 0 to 60. So it was weird, man.
Yeah.
They had like no interaction before. The black guy was kind of cool because he'd actually go and sit in different parts of the class from time to time. Well, students don't do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Find your spot and
Well, I find that like there are some people who do that, and they typically do way better in the class than everybody else. So I don't know why it is, but
interesting.
I never did that. I was always like, where's the closest door to the exit?
Yeah.
So, or
I just wanted the back row.
yeah, I would actually venture the front row if the doors were in the front. So
I did that sometimes too because I'm like, you need to see that I'm going to walk right by you as I leave.
yeah, I'm out. Yeah. So yeah. So
I never thought of that strategy. Damn it.
nowadays, the places where the students fight over is any place that's close to an outlet. So
Oh, right.
yeah.
In a lot of places now, they have the outlets on the table.
Yeah, we have a couple rooms that are like that. So
Yeah, that's rough, man. I used to have to straighten that stuff every now and then. Some of the weird stuff too was, and I hate to say this, but there was some truth to this, was I did have to straighten some of the brothers out because of their language towards women.
I have not run into that.
But that was a high school thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a high school.
And that was really phasing out by, like, there was just a little bit of that, like, casual misogyny where it's just, like,
Yeah.
start their sentence with, it's like, bitch. It was like,
No.
nope, you, come here.
So, like, most of the guys that I deal with nowadays are all in athletics, and so they don't do that shit anymore. So, that's one thing that's kind of gone by the wayside. You'd still find that, like, on the job site and stuff like that, but, oh yeah, of course. But, yeah. Like, in college, you don't see that anymore. So,
Even on the job site, it's usually funny because I don't mean that in a like a dismissive way. It's just like every now and then you hear it so far on a left field where it's like, bitch is a Fifth Avenue, not a Butterfinger.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. There's nobody that can be offended by this, right? It's the absurdity of this situation is why you're getting mad at something funny. Like, you have a smile ear to ear, and so does he.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I got it. But the times was like, oh, you mean it. Oh, no.
I've never run into that on the job where somebody thoroughly meant that. So, I mean, I've had people, as a white guy, I've had people kind of scope me out every now and then just to see if I'm down with, like,
What, the upward nod?
No, not that one. I'm talking about the other side. White guys don't do that to each other when they're racist. Yeah, no.
Absolutely
So,
not.
yeah. And this is all before the what is it, the three-finger thing?
Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the okay sign.
I see people try and pull that one every now and then, just try and get you to look and stuff. And so, but
Well, that's different. That's the
totally
circle.
different. Yeah.
That's the circle game.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. But, like, and that, I mean, even when I was in the working world, that wasn't even a thing before until just a couple of years ago. But yeah, they would scope you out to see if you're actually down with, like, hearing some racist jokes from time to time. And then if you were down with that, then you get things later on, like my boss who was like, man, I had a rough weekend. My neighbors moved out and blah, blah, blah. They were messing with the kids and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wow, man, this sounds pretty rough. And he's like, no, it's great. At least they're white. So, and I was like, thanks, Greg. I really need to know that. So there's one. Found one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Will and I came from a place for a while there where there was a lot of just...
Oh, it was outright racism.
But I don't... Here's the question. How much of that was genuinely malicious?
They didn't like black people.
Yeah, judging from what I've heard come out of Eric's mouth, yeah, there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more legit.
I mean, when I turned on the basketball game and the guy goes, why are you turning on that N-word ball stuff?
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's kind of rough, man.
What? You can't say that?
Was that a company man that said that to you?
No, it was a DD.
Okay, I had a company man.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
He was Canadian. That's why he said, specifically said, yeah, I had the basketball game. I was like, I like hockey. You know why I like hockey? And of course, like a dumbass, I'm like, why do you like hockey? And he very declaratively said, it's the sport with the least amount of
Those.
this ethnicity in it.
See, that's a little rough. I think you'd have a really hard time actually finding that outside of that industry anymore.
Well, he's a company man, so
Yeah,
it's like, oh, yes, sir.
yeah,
It does have the least amount of these people in it. Yes, sir.
Right, yes, you are correct, sir. So,
Oh, when the DD said it, I was just like, my jaw was like, what?
yeah.
You can't.
I've only run into a couple people here and there. I mean, like, one of them was very early in my career, and this guy was like former KKK.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, he was like 10. So, he grew up in Arkansas in like the 1930s. So, it's kind of like Boy Scouts at that point in time. So, but you can tell that
Oh my
somebody had
God,
rubbed off on him.
Patrick.
What?
See, that's how you create these things. Like when you want to
Boy
refer,
Scouts?
when you want to refer to, you say when you're talking about the Klan, it's like it's the Arkansas Boy Scouts.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So that's regular Russian left turn. Yeah, the Arkansas Boy Scouts. So yeah, that one just kind of come out of nowhere. So there we go. The genesis of a euphemism. But,
I got
but
you.
like he was like the only guy, you know, until later in my career when I ran into one or two. And honestly, ever since being in the schools, and that's been 14 years now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Gone.
Except for like the occasional like foreign student who's just like, is like, yeah, you're not from here, are you? So if you say that again, all those guys over there are going to meet you in the parking lot and you're going to want to go back home.
Well, it was funny. Like when I was younger and I was going to, public schools, just like the rest of you guys.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I'm going to tell you a good 25% to 45%. That was using that word was the way to ignite a fight. That was how you crossed that line, right?
Yeah.
That was how you went from like, nah, we're just teasing. It's like, we got to take this to the next level.
Oh, yeah, no, that's when the fight erupts in the locker bay. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, yeah, I'd be surprised. Most of the fights I saw in high school were probably centered around that, where it's like, no, actually, you went too far, motherfucker. So here we go.
Yeah, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
no, you actually, like, you guys had a fair dispute earlier on. It's like, yes, you were jockeying for the ball. I understand. But now you
can't
have
say
crossed
that,
this
yeah.
line,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping he wins.
Right, he's going to whoop your
Significant.
ass. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you could have settled this differently.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't get a good gauge from my students on that one anymore. So I know like places like CC down there and, fucking, your other liberal arts colleges can afford the fucking block system.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, there's racists behind every fucking bush and stuff. But if you actually get out there, there's none, man. So
No, because over there it's performative. It's
totally performative.
Yeah, it's pageantry.
Yeah.
It's it's like we talked about fake ass rich people writing for
Right. How poor people act.
right.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And look, I'm going to say this because I was on that campus and I was dating a girl from that campus. I hung out with her stupid friends and all this stuff. And I hang out with a whole bunch of rich ass people who happen to be in the part of town that kind of feels slummy. And so they'd interact with slummies, right?
Yeah, but not really.
Well, they would. They'd date them and they'd invite them to hang out.
Well,
and
back then
pretend
they'd
to be-
bring him weed.
Yeah, also, but no, it was like it's kind of like when somebody would say like, yeah, before I went to college, I spent a year in Spain. So this was their version of like, I lived in the hood, yes, for 4 years, and I took in hood culture.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
They put it on
Idiots
the
thinking
resume.
that part of town is actual hood. They need to go down 809 to 5. This is
Oh, I know what the hood is.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not welcome there.
No, you're not welcome there. You don't belong there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's not for me.
No, they closed all the Korean markets.
Man, it's like, white people at Tyler Perry movies either. This is just how it goes.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Every one of you is like, look, man, I had to ask. There was a dude named Robert who loved those movies. Okay?
Tyler Perry movies?
Yes. Okay?
Okay.
And to be fair, he was their demographic. I said, what do you like about these? Right? Because at the time, there was a TV show, Meet the Browns. Okay? It was on TBS. I watched a couple episodes. I'm like, this is horrible. And I was like, Robert, you stand up for these movies. What do you like about them? Right? And the whole thing was, oh, well, it's just like every one of these movies has somebody in there that reminds you of somebody in your family.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Well, they don't remind me of my family. So it's not for me.
It's not for me, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So,
Like, was it
that's a good point.
the guys that used to work with at American, didn't they love that scene in, like, The Nutty Professor?
Oh, yeah.
Where they were like, oh, that's my grandmother right there. That's,
Oh, yeah. Well, that or Friday. I mean,
oh, yeah.
it was like, yeah, that guy's my fucking uncle.
Yeah.
So he is that disgusting. And they would just laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And it was like, all right.
Right.
This isn't for me, but I can see why you think it's really fucking
I can
funny.
absolutely
yeah,
see
and
why
I can
this is
empathize
funny.
with that a little bit.
I mean,
know.
like, it's the same thing where I've had this happen where you're in the theater, it's a completely straight line, it's not funny, but there is something about it that's like, oh, I know that guy.
Right, yeah.
And you're losing your shit.
Yeah.
You're like, why is this funny? It's like, because this guy I know, Nick.
Yeah. That's him.
He says that.
Yeah, all the time. He talks like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Do we?
I think we're good. We're at a buck 40.
Do we?
So,
I don't feel like we like covered anything profound, but I don't think we needed to.
I don't think there's anything profound going on right now.
Well, I mean, unless you guys have any like additional abortion thoughts.
I don't. I'm just curious to see who actually leaked it now. So, more so anything else. And I'm curious to see if it's actually going to stand, I mean, if it's an initial draft. See, that's the thing is you'll never know now because, like, if they go back to, we need to change this now.
Because it was
but if it was an initial draft, it'll be like, well, that's just an initial draft. This is the one that we were planning on doing. And so I don't fucking think we'll ever really know.
We want to see
at
what
least not
people
until some
reacting
more, like,
to, and then we'll...
Yeah, until at least some more time has passed. So they're going to fight a dude, though, who did that. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they won't.
They probably will.
I would hope so.
Ultimately, I don't know what the repercussions of this would be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I don't have anything particularly profound to say about that. I saw that the My Pillow guy made it back on the Twitter for exactly 3 hours. So, do you think they're going to let him back on permanently? So,
They kicked him off again?
yep.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I don't even know. I imagine it had something to do with Dominion election machines, COVID, and like QAnon all in one tweet of 144 characters or less.
I'm going to get booted, so let me make it worthwhile.
Well, he probably thought that Elon Musk already owned Twitter. Or he thought that because Elon Musk owns Twitter, I can still be a jackass on Twitter. And maybe that's not the case.
That's funny.
possibly. Patrick, I don't even know what that guy's lane is anymore. Like,
Dude, the guy, I don't know either, man. So, I mean, I've tried his pillow. It's ass.
Is it?
So, it's bad.
I've heard
Really?
people say it's the greatest thing. I've heard people say exactly your review.
I think if you looked at their ballots, you would actually know who was who. So, yeah, let me just call that one right here. I followed the directions on the box because it comes in this, like, softball sized package like this.
Yeah.
And it says throw it in the dryer for 15 minutes and it's supposed to be like a really nice pillow.
Yeah.
And it is for about a week.
Whoa.
And then it gets really thin. And so you throw it in the dryer again, thinking that it's going to activate. And I'm using dick quotes here, okay? Because that's what you did in order to get it to that.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
doesn't activate once you've done that. So it's done.
Huh.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's weird. I guess I didn't picture it that way. I didn't know it came in like a chalupa shell and then
does.
just became a hard taco after a week.
That's not even a week. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. It's like it's more like a quesadilla after a week. That's really disappointing. This is before I even knew who the motherfucker was. So my mom was like, oh, this, I tried this pillow and you should get one too. And I was like, okay. And so I ordered one off his website. He fucking spam emails the shit out of me now because I didn't do it through Amazon like a smart guy. So,
Okay. Just the last thing I want to know, because you did talk about the demographics. Did your mother buy it because she was interested in comfort or hardcore right ideology?
I don't know. My guess is probably the latter.
Can you ask her?
I know she probably saw his ads on Fox News.
They are on a lot.
Oh yeah. No, like when I drive home tonight, Handy be on, and it'll be like I'll get at least one of those commercials in before I get home.
Yeah.
And I live like 6 minutes away.
So, all right. So this is Cocker Before Bed. I'm Jeffrey. That's William. That's Patrick. And can you end with your formal review? How many stars do you give the My Pillow out of 5?
2. I'll give it a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, you might like it. You never know. If you like a flat, nothing pillow, then yeah, go for it.
The last time I actually saw one of his pillows, I think it was a flat nothing pillow. It was like close to a sheet.
Some people like that, man.
No, that's fine. I love your recommendation. It's like, oh, Jeff, you love dog shit.
That's a good
Got
place.
just